That's the corner. Go on, guys, please get one yourself, son. And what a great goal! Not so. Shoots.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well, and you're very welcome along to Friday night's live stream where we bring you all the latest news around Elland Road. As you can imagine, I'm sure we all know as Leeds fans, there's loads to get into today. It's swinging and roundabout, there's ups and downs, we're in and we're out. There's absolutely loads going on. But before we do get into the video, guys, please make sure you're slapping a like on the video and, of course, hitting subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We're only 13 subs, I think, off 3,300, which is absolutely sensational, guys. So, again, thanks very much for all your support. In this video, we're going to get into, obviously, the main news today. Igor Paixao seems to be taking twists and turns every time you go onto Twitter. There's new breaking news out there, some being a little bit made up to kind of just stir up the fan base. Then we're going to talk about Leeds United's new signing, which we're just waiting on the announcement now, Lucas Perri. We're going to get Dylan's thoughts on Mateo Joseph as well, and everything else in between. So, as always, guys, make sure you're getting your thoughts in the comment box below, and we'll have a chat about it. Dillo, what is happening? How is your Friday evening?
Exactly. Friday evening. You hit it the nail on the head. What a week I've had, lads. It's one of them weeks, but it's great now sitting here on a Friday talking to all these lovely people and talking nothing but the best about Leeds United. So yeah, other than that, I'm going to get a Domino's after this. I'm going to chill out and I'm going to watch the new Happy Gilmore movie. So that's my Friday night.
Very good. Absolutely love that. Dylan, let's get in and see who's in the building on the Friday night. Dylan, there's my one there. Smash the like and subscribe. Danny Talks Leeds here as always. Smash the like and subscribe. Ian Ward is here. Smash the like and go on to smash some Guinness later. Enjoy, pal. Love to hear it. No better way on a Friday evening. Fair play to you. Danny says, I'm hearing Perri Chicken has failed his medical. His arms aren't strong enough. Don't say that, Danny. Don't put the jinx on. I've heard it's the medical is done and dusted, and we're just waiting on the stamp now from the club. So let's hope it happens this evening. If not, let's hope it happens tomorrow. Ian Ward said, did anyone see Largy and the Leeds team on the bike ride today? Largy is a mad buck. Absolutely brilliant. If you haven't seen it already, lads, go check it out. If you want to perk yourself up a little bit, Largy Ramazani is absolutely brilliant. What a guy he is. So funny. Stephen Bourne is here. All right, lads. Hi, chat. What a time to be a Leeds fan. And that it is, buddy. That it is. To be even fishing in these waters is absolutely unbelievable. And fair play to our boy Jam, the Welsh Wizard. 5 months a member here on Only Leeds Bros. 5 months a member, but a member for life. Thanks very much, pal. And you're a pal for life as well. Love that, buddy. Thanks very much for supporting Only Leeds Bros. We've got Ian in the building. Jam in the building. Who else have we got? Stephen, Ian. Philip is here as well. Baby Zebra is here. It was great to meet you at the Crater Cup, Baby Zebra. Really, really good chat with you. So, nice, pleasant surprise meeting loads of people. Lynette is here. Michael Pollard is here as always. Evening, Darren and Dillo. Our mate, Matty, is here. Now then, lads, he's in the building. Can't wait to see you now. 2 weeks' time, Matty's coming off to stay in my house for the Leeds and AC Milan game. So, we're going to have a great crack at that. And Jason O'Keefe is here as well. Says, evening, lads. Dylan, I think we'll dive straight into this because we've got a good bit to get through to today. We know there was a lot of information put out probably the tail end of last night about 10:30. We got news from what we would class not really a reliable source. Fine Transfer Market said that Leeds United had put in a bid for Igor Paixao in excess of 13 million. I sat on it and I said, look, let's see how this goes tomorrow. Let's see if Sky or the local journalists pick it up. They did. We got the stamp on it today from Graham Smith. He did tweet saying that Leeds United had put in a bid in excess of £30 million, that Paixao and his representatives are happy with the Leeds project and the draw of the Premier League. So as you imagine, as Leeds fans, we're all absolutely rubbing our hands. We're after outbidding Marseille. Roma don't really seem to have the money to do it. We know the situation with the Italian clubs. They haven't really got the money in the bank, so it looked like this one would get done. Then again, on the way home, then this afternoon, and from the same source, Fine Art Transfer Market, or Market, whatever way you want to say it, they said that the first bid had been rejected by Feyenoord, but Leeds United immediately went back in with a second bid. So if you read between the lines they're dealing with this one, surely that's a telltale sign that we're very close.
Eager. Definitely eager. Close as well to a certain degree. I suppose it's all certain to do with what way Leeds are selling the project to Paixao. At the end of the day, there's other clubs there that are sniffing about. He is a Brazilian player. He has quality. He has ambition. if Leeds is the right club for him, who knows? But it is an exciting week, as Tony Clark did say there. What a great week. You know, at the end of the day, as I said before, the 49ers are moving very, very, very quietly, very, very slowly. We'll never know until it happens. But I'm really excited about this one because he seems like my type of player. So,
Yeah.
I'm eager. Definitely eager.
B2, Dylan, look, as I said, it's been swinging and roundabouts with this one. Obviously, we were very much in for him. We wanted him. Marseille then came in, looked like they were after deal done and dusted. Personal terms were agreed. It looked like that was going to get done and dusted. I kind of made me peace with it. We moved on as a fan base, and then obviously we heard it was roadblock after roadblock for Marseille, and then we know eventually that's after collapsing. So it seems to be back on now, and I think this is kind of giving Leeds fans a little bit of false hope, isn't it? That we could go get him. There's a couple of rumours going around Twitter this afternoon. I don't think there's anything valid that Roma have came in from, and supposedly he's chosen Roma, but I think, Dylan, when you read between the lines and you kind of try and get all the kind of the mess and all the mad tweets out of the way, I could call it another word, and kind of read between the lines on what's credible, it looks like this is very much on for Leeds United. And I've got the feeling at the minute, probably for the first time I have over the last 2 weeks, is it's looking very, very possible Leeds could get this done.
Quite possibly. Look, at the end of the day, you know, you see it there at age 25, you're Brazilian, you know, similar to the Rafinha. It's simple enough on paper, but it's simply down to the player's ambition and where he wants to play. Yeah. His experience, obviously, being in the Champions League, you know, he's young. Like, I think the appearances in GNA alone tells you what type of player that he is. But then it's down to competition as well. It's slow moving. You know, you'd be sitting there on Twitter all day scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You know, my phone is dead half of the time scrolling, waiting for news or announcements or, you know, and couldn't do your head in a little bit. But it is one to be excited about because Leeds really are moving and they're moving well. They're going with the sort of players that will attract other clubs. So for Leeds to be even associated with these types of names,
to be fishing in these waters,
is brilliant to see. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I did say, obviously, look, I know, but you can play striker as well. You can play kind of a utility player if that's what you want to say. A 10 as well, but I don't mind splashing out 35 million, you know, whatever we end up getting him for, if we get him, get the deal across the line, because he does look like an exciting player. So, yeah, I think anyone in the chat and anyone can agree with me, it's definitely one to be excited about.
It is 100%, Dylan. Look what Michael says here. Transfer window, I must say I'm very happy with what's been done so far, especially the goalkeeper. Remember, we all thought that we'd sell Mez before we get a number one goalkeeper. Well done to the 49ers. And I do have to hold my hands up with this one. I didn't think we would. I genuinely thought that Mez would have to go first before Leeds jumped on a goalkeeper. And it just feels like, Dylan, we're not hanging about. I know when Underwood first came in, we all kind of had our, you know, suspicions of like, you know, what he's going to be like. We didn't really rate him, but so far, Dylan, he's done a brilliant job. The 49ers have done a brilliant job. Mikey says a further on there in the chat, whether we get Paixao or we don't, it doesn't define this window for me, Dylan, because getting Lucas Perri and getting Anton Stack, for me, I didn't think we'd get them. I genuinely didn't. I thought that were going to be another Rodrigo de Paul, and we've got them as well. But if we can get Paixao across the line, I was on Jer's podcast last night and we spoke about it as well. This is very much the last one on the bingo card. If we can get him and get a decent striker, like, for me, it's a fantastic window. And you look at them three that came up, ourselves, Sunderland and Burnley, I think our window has been the best so far.
I think when you look back, you know, being a Leeds fan that I am, and what the owners have done in the past, and, you know, especially even last season, you know, I keep saying it in videos, in the January window when we didn't go get a 10, everyone, including myself, by the way, was having a meltdown why we didn't go after that 10. And we didn't, and luckily we didn't, because now we have that kind of money to push it forward for these type of players to come in. I think the 49ers hit the nail on the head. 2 weeks ago, don't get me wrong, it was very quiet. Everything was real hush-hush. I've said it from day one, from when the window opened. I want players in as quick as possible. Not because other clubs are going to be fishing. We want to get them in before they're snatched up. Definitely not like that. It's simply down to just pre-season, to get the boys in, to get them up to scratch, to get that chemistry between amongst themselves. For probably the most gruesome season of Leeds United history, let's be completely honest with you. But yeah, like, why wouldn't we be excited? And to move the way that we done with Stack, with What's his name? Burnout. I can never pronounce that fellow's name.
Borneo as well, yeah.
Yeah, now you're talking about Perri, then you've got Goodmunson. You've all these lads that are coming in.
Yeah.
And to be like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to see. To be honest with you, I didn't think we'd sign as much as we did. I said 7 or 8. That was me being greedy. It's looking like we're going to catch up to that.
Yeah, but even Dylan, when you look, I think it was Friday, actually last Friday, Dylan stream that we done, and we had BMG, one of the subscribers in the chat, and he was very much kind of saying to you, come on, let's try and be glass half full. You were feeling a little bit glass half empty. The window seemed to go a little bit stagnant. We weren't really hearing much. It was after going very quiet. And you think us as Leeds fans would be used to it at this stage now with the 49ers. When it goes like this, when it goes very quiet, there's very little on the ground. There's usually deals going on in the background. And if you had said to us then, in the next 10 days, you're going to announce Longstaff, you're going to get Anton Stack, you're going to have Lucas Perri essentially signed, and you're going to be the leading runners for Paixao, we all would have said absolutely no hope at all. So there's times that you do kind of have to check yourself, Dylan, is it? And it's like what Stephen said earlier on in the chat, what a time to be a Leeds fan at the minute. And then the other side of it is like what Matty says as well, if this doesn't come off, it was always going to be a very, very unlikely one. If we get it done, fantastic work. If we don't, we just move on to the next one. We know the 49ers are going to have a list, not going to be our top target, but at least we're here. We seen under the previous regime, Dylan, under Kinnear, and it was always kind of felt like, we tried. The proof is there now, isn't it, with the 49ers, Dylan? We're coming up trumps, we're 30 plus million, 35 plus million is supposed to be the second fee gone in there now. So we're really, really trying to get this done and dusted, aren't we?
Look, they're just trying to get deals across the line, and you can't be annoyed at that. Anyone at all, any fan, whatever club that you support, once you see the board or the owners doing the right thing, and what the 49ers have said is they're going to spend the money of what they've got on players to bring into the Premier League, and they've done that so far. So, as I said, it's just me being greedy, other fans being greedy, and us just having them sort of expectations, trying to become that established Premier League club. I think that's basically what it is. And look, at the end of the day, it's all passion at the end of the day. Anyone that is being negative or we didn't sign this person, it's simply down to passion.
Probably will be. I have a feeling it's going to be a 40 million. And that, look at Dylan, that's
30% sell-on clause, watch.
Feyenoord, they hold all the cards with this, and Dylan, he's 4 years left on his contract. He was, without a shadow of a doubt, the best player in the Dutch division last season. It was 18 goals, I think 16 assists that he got. As you said, his record there speaks for itself. 129 appearances, 62 GNA.
Young as well.
He's sensational, and he's very much, we spoke about, he's very much that Solomon-esque type of player. Plays on the left-hand side, cuts in on that right foot. It's very, very hard to stop. He is that sprinkler Stardust. And look, they hold all the cards, Dylan. If he only had a year left on his contract, this could be done and dusted. But the fact that he's 4 years left, and I'm sure we'd be the same if that was our player and we were Leeds fans, we'd be saying the same as well. We'd probably accept that they're going to have to be moved on, but they want the best deal for their club, so you can understand that side of it as well.
Exactly, and look, it's similar to who did we get for 3 bids? I mean, it was a Stack.
No, we were fairly quick with Stack. I think it was Bial. Bial was back and forward.
Yeah. Could possibly be. I think Leeds are just testing the waters.
Longstaff. It was Longstaff. It was the four bids we went in for Longstaff. Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's simply what it's down to. Leeds are just trying to get it on the cheap. Not too cheap, don't get me wrong, but I mean, they're negotiating, which is the right thing to do. And if we have to pay 40 million for him, if that's their go-to player, then I'm all for it. Same thing, you watch videos on YouTube, he does look like a quality player. Brazilian, he's young. What's not to like? It's the attraction as well, and then as well as that, we've seen young Leeds fans with Rafinha on the back. They looked up to him as a hero. Who's to say that this fella won't be either? So look, I'm loving it. I think it's you wouldn't be a Leeds fan if you're not loving it, because it's probably the most signings and noise coming from the background that we've ever had. Exactly.
Look at this time 12 months ago when we were just after losing the playoff final going into another year in the championship, knowing that we were going to have to sell Somerville. We thought Nanta was going to go, Rutter, Archie Gregg. Like we went through hell this time last year, Dylan, this summer window. We didn't know what was going to be ahead of us, whether Fark was going to keep his job or not. And 12 months later then we're trying to pick up players of this flair as well, which is Rafinha sort of esque. So you have to enjoy it. You do have to check yourself. I know as Leeds fans we all do, we kind of get carried away and we always want better and the best for our football club, but we have to look where we're after coming from as well. We're building and we're doing all the right things at the minute. Skip says here, Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree with you there. Surely we have a cut off from chasing Paixao. We can't go into the last week hoping we get him, no matter how good he is. Yeah, I would agree with you, Skip. I would, and this was the conversation I had with Jerry yesterday. Is like, where does it stop? And I have a feeling for him himself. Probably towards the tail end of next week, he'll probably want his future sorted out as well. Whether he's going to stay at Feyenoord, go to Leeds, Marseille, Roma, wherever he does end up going, I think he'll want his future sorted. So I do think probably by this time next week, and also people are going to say, "Geez, another week to wait." I think we'll know exactly where we stand with Paixao, Dylan. So yeah, I don't think it will rumble on that far, that late on in the window. I think it's probably different with a striker. I do think a striker will probably go down to the last minute of the window. We've heard stuff coming out late saying that they're very confident in getting Rodrigo Menez, but it's going to be towards the tail end of the window. But Paixao, I can see that kind of being sorted fairly soonish. Dylan, could you? That's just a guess.
I think we're going back to what I said with Daniel Farkin getting lads in early for pre-season. It's definitely going that direction. I know we've played 2 games pre-season, but come the 9th over here, when Matty comes over for a few points, get into it. Come on. Yeah, I'm just excited. You want to get these lads up to scratch. That's what it is. You don't want to leave. We all know what, and I hate being the negative Nancy here, we all know what Fark's track record is like. The start of a season, he starts off slow, it takes a while to build up, and I just think we could take every little bit of positivity and time that we can possibly get just to get the boys up to scratch. It's simply down to chemistry. I know they're away in pre-season. We've seen the video of Lardy Ramazani, all the joking and laughing. That's what you want to see. At the end of the day, you just want to see that kind of, can't say the word, camaraderie, isn't it? Together. Yeah. Sorry, lads. Sorry. Yeah, that's basically where we're at. At the end of the day, there's noise coming. As you said, 12 months ago, it was a completely different club. We didn't know what shape it was going to be the following year. The second year at the Fark, he's turned it around. The 49ers now are definitely making the most of it and making the most of the money. So you have to give them praise.
Jason O'Keefe says here, Dylan, where did the 30% sell-on clause come from? It hasn't directly been pointed at Leeds, but that's what Feyenoord wanted off Marseille, from Marseille, that they wanted to input a 30% sell-on clause. So automatically you think they're going to try and do the same to Leeds. Now, there's no reports of that as of yet. I'm happy with that. I don't want that 20% sell-on clause. I don't know about you. I know some people are saying, look, if that's what it is to get the deal done, that's fine. But I'm trying to think of Leeds' future. If we do have the same mark. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we say 15, Dylan. That's one. I think Dantos is ridiculous. I think Dantos is like 40, and I think that's kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. If we put all our time and effort into building him up to be a very good player, and he has that Rafinha-esque sort of arc. Look, we don't want to think like that. We obviously want him to come here, rip it up at Leeds, and us climb up the league and get into European spots. That's obviously the dream. But realistically, if he does improve rapidly, you're going to have other clubs looking at him, i.e. Barcelona or the bigger Premier League clubs. You don't want to be losing 30% to his previous club, Dylan, do you? That you've essentially done all the work to kind of get him there. So that would be if we could trump up, say, another 5 and get that done and squash it, I'd be happy enough with that. But as of yet, Jason, I haven't seen any reports that that's what they're looking for off Leeds. So we'll see how it goes.
It's simply down to the 49ers as well, being how adamant they are to get him. Like, at the end of the day, if they pay 40, and then say, right, we'll give you 5% or 10%, you're kind of still kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But I mean, pay more to get more, if that makes sense, as opposed to just taking it on the cheap now, taking it on the chin, and then when you do go to sell them to a big club like Barcelona or whoever it is, you want to make sure that you got your money's worth and invest again into the club. That's that's the business we're in nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah. Might hear from Imagine Not Being Leeds saying, I just want to say, lads, you've worked so hard to improve the channel so much in such a short space of time. Smashing the bros. Cheers, pal. To where we were now, going into the Prem with channels doing numbers. It's fantastic, mate. And as you said, it's the support of everyone around, it's the support of everyone in the chat. Supporting the channel, subscribing, liking, sharing, all that sort of good stuff. And as me and Dylan have said loads of times, it does mean the world to us. We love doing this. Has become a hobby of us now as we enjoy doing it. We've met so many people off the back of it. So many people DM us when we go to Leeds. We meet with people for a beer, and so many people became friends. So that's the main thing for us. The numbers are obviously great. The subs are obviously great. The views are obviously great. But that's not what we're in it for. We're in it to talk Leeds United, and we've made so many good relationships out of it, haven't we? So that's. But thanks very much.
Friends for life.
Do really appreciate it, pal. Really, really appreciate that. Dr. Cox is here. He says, Irish, thanks for popping in, Dr. Cox, pal, on your Friday. Ian Ward says, we've came a long way from GFH. We really have, buddy. The skint Arabs to the 1400 yard. Typical Leeds, we get Arabs taking over and thinking we're getting the Man City model, the Newcastle model, and we probably get the most skint Arabs in the country to take over Leeds. So it's just typical Leeds United. But as you said, we've came a long way from Ken Bates, Chilino. Look at Radrizzani, gave us good times, but obviously we were run like a League One club. So we have to enjoy these moments. The club, for me, the foundations of it feels like it's in a really, really good spot for the first time, I think, in a long, long time. So we have to enjoy it. I'm sure you've all seen the project of the Elland Road that was put up on Twitter yesterday. If you haven't, go check it out. It is fantastic, the plans that they have. It's obviously, we've seen a couple of the pictures and the videos, but this is actually going to show the construction, how it's done, and the actual finished model of it, and it's just brilliant. You can't not be excited if you're a Leeds fan at the minute. Agent Smith says yeah, it is. Agent Smith says, Board have said that they look at backup options, similar quality if Paixao falls through, and they have to do that, Dylan, don't they? You can't throw all your eggs in one basket, essentially. They will have backup plans, won't they?
Well, you'd like to think so. We can't be reliant on one individual, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, he looks like a quality signing. He looks like the definitely, as you would say, the stardust that would shape up this team and make us look that 10 times better. But doesn't rely on one player. At the end of the day, it's the players around you and the squad, side before self at the end of the day. So, but yeah, you'd like to think that they'd have some sort of backup. They would.
Yeah, 100%, Dylan. They have to, definitely. Where are we here now? With a good comment here from Leeds Tribe says, excellent caliber of players coming in. It really is, Dylan, isn't it? What we're looking at. The Brazilian, yeah, it's everyone saying it now, isn't it? Jaco Benito, the new Sambas came out today as well. Paixao, Muniz, Perri would be unbelievable. If all come in, maybe a game in the Aviva would be the first time we get to see them. It'd be sensational, wouldn't it? And you'd like to think so. That's the game before. It's the week before we play Everton on the Monday night. So whatever team starts, I think in the Aviva against AC Milan will probably be the team that we see against Everton the following Monday.
I'm going to be absolutely rubber. Like a welly.
John Pepper says, hi Darren and Dillo, we're moving very quickly now. These players will be awesome. Yeah, it's really starting to take off. That week of quietness now, Dylan, it looks like that was a good week, because that seems like when we were really putting all the ducks in a row then, so we could just tick off all day. So we look back now, and I'm happy that week was a quiet week. Foynihan probably offered 30% to cheapen the fee. Maybe so, Mark. Maybe so. You wouldn't be sure what goes on in the background with these deals, and to try and get it over the line and stuff. There's loads involved in deals, as I'm sure everybody knows at this stage how hard it is. You need the player to agree, the club to agree, money, the whole lot is involved. So you need a lot to come together to get a sign. Yeah, all money. Yeah, that's
anyone got a land of his?
Jam says here, the 30% sell-on clause does us no favours. If he's the player that we all think he is, then he will make us some serious cash, and that's what we have to look at, isn't it, Dylan?
That's simply that was down to.
Yeah. And Stephen says here, 40 million for Paixao or 50 million for Muniz. I know what I'd be spending my money on. Muniz is not worth the Prem tax. No, he's not, buddy. But I was trying to I talked to this about Jer last night off air about this 50 million price tag that's on Muniz and not really being proven at Premier League level yet. He's obviously has been a backup, but it's what way Jer said that he sees it is that it's the potential that you see in Muniz, so I can kind of understand that. But then again, what you say, Stephen, is the Prem tax. If we're going for Muniz, that's playing for a French club or Austrian club or Dutch club, you're probably getting them for the 35-40 million as well, and you're always going to get that extra bit, aren't you, Dylan, for the Premier League. We'll go back and we'll speak about Paixao as well when we go through the comments, but let's talk about one that we know was concrete. We've seen it. Like, I still can't believe that we're getting him over the line. But it's Lucas Perri, Dylan. I got a bit of word today that the medical is done, dusted. We're just waiting now on the rubber stamp from the club now to sign him. Dylan, we did a video on this a couple of weeks ago. We talked about goalkeepers when there was a good few names floating about. We had Milinkovic-Savic in there. You were a big fan of him. I was a big fan of Lucas Perri.
Upset.
We seen Milinkovic-Savic obviously went to Napoli today. That was always going to be a tough one. Lucas Perri was on the short list as well as Nick Pope, Aaron Ramsdale. We went through them all, Dylan, but we spoke about it at the time that Milinkovic-Savic was probably going to be a little bit outside our reach, and the next best you could get there is Lucas Perri, Dylan. But how happy were you to see this? Because again, this came out of nowhere yesterday. It was just there it is. He's on his way. He's going to get his medical done, and he's going to be a Leeds United player. Out of nowhere, and the 49ers have done it again.
I think for me, definitely, I thought the 49ers were on the wind up towards me because I've been just, demanding a goalkeeper. I think it's the right decision to make at the end of the day to replace Mez. It has to be done. I think for anyone, everyone's entitled to their opinions. I get that, but I think for anyone to even go, we need to back him. We've backed him. There's only so much you can back someone. At the end of the day, if I make a mistake in my job, I'm brought in. If I do it again, I'm getting the sack. It's the same here, and there's a lot of money involved. But yeah, going back to what I remember with Lucas Perri, he demands his box very well. And guess what, lads? You want to give us a little drum roll there, Darren, if you want. He can catch a ball. I'm not trying to make a joke there, I'm being serious. He actually demands his box very well. He catches the ball, he clears his lines, and does the simple thing. He doesn't punch it or flap his lines. I think, I was a bit more on the Milkovic Savage just because he looked like a pure head case, and us being dirty Leeds. It was just, for me, a dream come true if that one if that had to happen. But Perri, he definitely looks like the part. At the end of the day, a different change with a big club. He played for Lyon. But I'm happy with this one. It's another one in the door, lads, and it's a goalkeeper. I didn't think, at times like Jamie thought the 49ers were going to let us down. I thought they were going to stick with Mez or Darlow. So it's definitely exciting times to be a Leeds fan, that's for sure. No, Perri, no, Perri. Love that.
That's a good one from Leeds Tribe. Yeah, Dylan, as you said, I'm excited about this one, and anyone that's been kind of following only Leeds Bro since the season ended, Dylan, I've been saying it's the goalkeeper position. We knew we needed other positions to cover, but if you could pick one straight away, that was the priority that Leeds United needed to get done and sorted. It was that goalkeeper position, Dylan, and it seemed to, at the start of the window, there was a bit there, then it went very quiet. Interest then came from Meslier in Fenerbahce, that went quiet as well. And then again, as I said, this one came out of nowhere. I'm really happy now. I feel a lot more relaxed in myself now that we're getting this over the line, because I was getting, obviously, a few people were asking, DMing and in our comments as well, asking, any news on a goalkeeper, and there just didn't seem to be anything kind of concrete out there. We did see a little bit last week of potentially Leicester in for Meslier. Fenerbahce, I suppose he came back in with a little bit of interest, and there's all club Lorient as well. So you could kind of feel like there's something going on here in the background. I said it to you, I didn't think we'd get one in until Meslier goes. We've been proven completely wrong with that one. And the 49ers, I think, have done really, really good with this one, Dylan. As I said on the video that I made on Thursday night about it, I think so far at the minute, this is the best signing of the window.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what I'm actually very excited about? Just real quick, I'm more excited about at the defensive line, if I'm being honest with the stack of defenders that we have in there now is unbelievable. But going back to the start of the window, because I think at times we were still very hyped up on, I was anyway, of Meslier. I'm definitely happy. I didn't think it was going to be this late, and obviously it's still not done yet, but I'm definitely happy at the fact that we definitely were looking at a goalkeeper, the ones that we were linked with, and now it's had to come back up again with Lucas Perri. So, yeah, it's definitely one of the signings of the summer for us.
Yeah, so far
kind of move away from the old Leeds to this new.
Yeah, this new Leeds. And when's the last one? I think, and as well, the fee deal is believed to be 17 million euros, which is about 15 probably plus million pounds. Which again, I think the fee is brilliant as well. Then, because I was thinking getting a goalkeeper at this caliber, you're probably talking 20 plus for him as well. So I think the 49ers have done really well on this fee. We know the issues at Lyon, but with the fee as well, Dylan, around it, that just makes it a little bit sweeter as well, that we've essentially got him cheaper than what I thought we would have got him for.
It just goes to show that the 49ers are not going to mess about, and they're not going to penny pinch, or they're not going to spend too much. At the end of the day, obviously we can go back to the Longstaff deal. They put 4 bids in. They were adamant to get him. They got it across the line. Hopefully now it's the same with Paixao. But you don't want the club spending more than what they need to pay. And, as I've said, seeing videos on YouTube, I wouldn't be big up on them in the sense of watching them week in, week out. As I said, just from YouTube, looking at stats. Why wouldn't you? And for that price, it's a steal, 110%.
And it's like what Ian says here. If any of us haven't seen it or haven't watched Perri play, just go on to YouTube again. I know YouTube isn't, it's always going to be the best bits of it, but just look how he throws the ball out. That's going to be a massive weapon next season, Dylan. We know the pace that we have in them wide areas in Dan James. If we get Paixao, or even on that side, if you have a Willie Nanto or Ramazani, that could be a real threat for Leeds United next season. If he's catching the ball, them two players are gone. That can be that transition of attack, because he essentially could be, the sort of the starting line of attack as well next season. So, as you said, Dylan, he looks very, very confident in goal as well. He's a keeper that doesn't like to come off his line. He very much stays put on his line and let his defenders do the work. But when the ball does come near him, he's very, very good at catching. His kicking isn't sensational, but I don't think Melié's has been the last couple of seasons either. But I think what we wanted at Leeds United was a competent goalkeeper, Dylan. As you say, he can catch the ball and is commanding in his box. And on paper, it looks like a fantastic signing, Dylan, doesn't it?
I think as well, going back to, I know we're bringing in the defence into this, but with the new defenders that we have and the lads that are already there, it gives them that kind of refreshment of a new player coming in, that kind of, right, we've hit the reset button and now let's see how this keeper does, and gives them, that sort of chemistry again and the trust, just letting the play flow at the end of the day. But I'm serious when I say this, lads. I just want a goalkeeper that can catch a ball. It's not too much to ask for, to command your box and do the necessities. At the end of the day, if a player gets in behind the defender and plays it to the bottom corner, you can't, you know what I mean? It's a breakdown in somewhere in the midfield or the defence. It just seems to be that the last season, Melié just kept getting pelters thrown at him. Deserved rightly, by the way, at times, definitely a lot of times. But then going back to what we said, with the Jermaine Beckford interview, when we did ask him off air, about the Melié situation, and I think he said it, with Melié being in net, there was 83 points that was involved. So imagine you can get someone better, like Lucas Perri. Who's to say? I know it's going into the Premier League, lads, but we're getting stacked and we're building a lot of momentum here with these players. So I'm really looking forward to the season start. Yeah.
And Stephen Bourne has a good one here as well, Dylan. He says, lads, chat, all these signings is amazing, the links, I couldn't be happier, but in terms of outgoings, who do you think will go and what sort of money do we bring in? I think that, Dylan, that obviously leads us on to the situation, because I haven't spoken to you about the Mateo Joseph situation and what's going to be going on, and in the chat, get your thoughts in on this one, because I think this is one that's kind of really rubbed me up the wrong way with Mateo Joseph, Dylan. I think he probably is one now with the way it's worked out for him. It seems to have gone more sour than what the Willie Nanto one has. I think he does go. I hope Leeds, whole firms, spoke again about it last night with Jer. It looks like this has Real Betis all over it. They obviously came in for 2 bids, was well below the value. Leeds probably just laughed them off. They came in with a loan bid. We spoke about it, and I said, Dylan, I feel like this has Betis all over it. I wouldn't be surprised if Mateo Joseph throws his toys out of the pram. He has done that. We hear that from Daniel Farke, that he's refused to travel with the team to Germany, which I want to get your thoughts on. But he probably feels like one now, Dylan, that is going to go, and Leeds United need to stand firm. Of their valuation supposedly is 13 million or a straight up loan. Again, a little bit like Feyenoord with Paixao. Leeds don't need to buckle on this one. We hold the cards with this one, don't we?
Right. Take this with a pinch of salt, right? And he's going to all slate me over, because I'm annoyed. Definitely at the fact he's a young player, as I've said before. He's only coming into his years of becoming a professional athlete, let's be honest with you. There was so much pressure on him last season by a lot of people, saying he was going to be championship goal scorer. Done well at the start. Same thing, Pirro and him were fighting for the position. Pirro grabbed the shirt and didn't let it go. Now, when he did come on, he done his bit. At times, he looked exciting. He's young. He has a lot of time to go before he gets to his prime, as you would say.
Yeah.
And then, now, fast forward to now. A few weeks ago, I've said repeatedly, I'm happy to let him go out on a loan. I think his ceiling is so high. I think he's a phenomenal player, and he will be. But I don't like the childishness. It just goes to show at 21 years of age to basically kick and scream, similar to the Willie Nanto situation. Now, I know Nanto, we forgive, we don't forget, but we forgive. He's kind of turned it around. He stayed here. He's knuckled down and he's done what he's had to do. With Joseph now, it's kind of similar to what Liam Cooper had said. If you don't want to be here, off. Go. Simple.
Yeah.
And it's the way that I'm looking at it now. You're young. You haven't a clue what you're at. There's people in your ear. Why don't you just grind it out? It's clearly obvious that Farke wants you in this team. If you had went in and said, Farke, look, At the end of the day, I want to play first team
more
football. I want to play.
Yeah.
You could have said it was decided alone. Let's be completely honest with you. But now pushing it and being sly about it. At the end of the day, when you put on a Leeds jersey, it's decided for itself every single time. Good luck.
Yeah. That's what I think, Dylan, is the disappointing thing. Like, if he wanted to go play football, I don't think anyone else would be waiting for that. I understand he's 21 years of age. He obviously has the bit between his teeth. He wants to play football more regularly than what he did at Leeds United last season, and probably
That's
more regularly
understandable.
what he's going to get this season. So that's fine, but it's just the way that he's gone about with Dylan, isn't it? That it's not right. Like, we would all give our right hands, our right foot, any limb of our body to go out and play for Leeds United, to throw on that white shirt once. So when a player disrespects the white shirt like that and refuses to play, or refuses to be involved in the team, that's what kind of rubs the fans up the wrong way. There's a right way of doing things and a wrong way of doing things, and this is certainly the latter, Dylan, isn't it? That he could have went to Germany, he could have worked hard, got his fitness levels up, potentially played in the 2 friendly games that we have over there, or against Man United, put in decent performance, and maybe start to turn Daniel Farke's head, where Farke will turn around and go, right, no, he has a decent part to being a part of this team, or maybe he is better off, let's let him go on loan. He's just gone about it the wrong way, and down in tools, the way he's done it is never the right way to do it. The other side of it is, he's 21, Dylan, and it's clearly representatives in his ear. It feels like Real Betis are the ones behind this, probably pushing all the buttons and kind of playing puppet at the minute. But as I said, Dylan, we're not under any sort of pressure. It's not like we're that championship club that we were last year when they tried to come in from. We hold the cards here now. If it is a Willie Nanto situation where Farke says, right, go down and train with the 21s until, Real Betis meet the valuation, it has been said from Spanish reports that they have no intention of trumping up 13 million for him. Well, then if that's what Leeds valuate him at, well then fine, go down to the under 21s, or we'll send you off loan. Celta Vigo is in there as well. Go out on loan, get your year, and then we'll get your money next year. But Leeds, they don't have to be pushed on this one, Dylan, do they?
No, definitely not. But just with me being me and hot-headed and annoyed at the fact that, look, at the end of the day, if I didn't turn up to work tomorrow and I was on holiday and they're saying you didn't even tell us you went on holiday, I think I'd get the sack, wouldn't I? It's big money here now we're playing with at the end of the day. 21 or not, I don't care. It shows some sort of level of professionalism at the end of the day. Don't forget Dirty Bib, who more or less, let's be honest, gave you the name, Mateo Joseph, in the sense of bringing him on and, letting him get his goal and starting him week in, week out, and giving him that kind of noise in the background, giving him that kind of confidence. Yeah, it didn't work out for him because Perri was just banging in goals, because Perri was just pure legend. But I mean, at the end of the day, alone would have just suited. And, I think, I say it all the time there, we all can agree, it's competition. You want lads fighting for their place. You don't just want to expect someone to walk onto the pitch, including Ampadu, captain or not. But he's just made a complete clown of himself, if I'm being honest with you. I know he's 21, I understand that. But, look, he's not stupid. Shows some sort of level of professionalism. Yeah. And then, as well as that, it was definitely a conversation had when Nanto done it. He's already had that conversation. So to go and do it again, just 13 your bib, if I'm being honest with you. And if I was a club owner, I'd never go near a player like that.
You're looking at this in the future, and it seems to be the way of the world now, Dylan, doesn't it? We professional footballers, even though they're locked into a contract, it feels like a contract doesn't mean anything anymore to football clubs, because we've seen similar to Isak at Newcastle, where he's kind of down in tools as well and trying to force a move to Liverpool as well. And it always just, for me, and look, it's easy kind of sitting here behind the computer, you're having an average Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job, and not being a professional footballer and £1,000 a week, but you think they'd have like a little bit of kind of respect for themselves and say, look, I want to go to work, this is what I want to do. And spoke about it last night about the Jack Harrison situation as well, and regardless of what we all think of him as Leeds fans, it could have been very easy for him to do the exact same thing as what Mateo Joseph has done and said, I'm not going to go to Germany, I'm not going to be part of this team. He's gone, whether, look, we still all don't want him here, we want him to be moved on, but he's gone there, gone the right way about things. He's gone there, gone to get his fitness up and potentially get his move away from Leeds United, and that's probably the right way to do it. Rather, if he came back here and says, I'm not putting on a Leeds shirt, I'm not training, I want Dale here, sell me as quick as you can. Again, that's the wrong way to go about things, and I'm not trying to give Harrison praise, because look, we all know what he done was wrong previously, but it just feels like there's a right and wrong way to do it, and that was just wrong for what Mateo Joseph was doing. I didn't think he had it in him. I thought he was that type of player that had a level head in his shoulders. You've seen him on social media. He was doing all different types of training to try and improve himself as a player. So you think he was going to have that model and that kind of sort of makeup to try and prove people wrong. And yeah, he's just, it seems ill-advised, Dylan, for me. Look, I'm trying not to be too hard on him because at the end of the day, he is still only 21 years of age. We all made mistakes when we were 21, but it's hard to see a way around this now, especially with Daniel Farke's post-match, the way he spoke about it, messing about, I can't call the police and get him to pull him here. So it feels like the relationship has really broke down. And I think if Betis come anywhere near that valuation, even if they put up 12, then right, let him go, move on, and then it's pure PSR for us, and then we can move on then and go get our striker that we want.
Look, at the end of the day, we had to just turn around to Farke and said, I want to play in Spain. I want to play week in, week out. And I'm not going to guarantee that you're looking for someone with that kind of competition. I want to go off. And look, he's from Spain. I get that. I do. Homesick, all that sort of stuff could come into. You could genuinely want to play in Spain. I really do get that. But definitely don't tarnish your reputation or your career. And certainly don't bring our club down. So that's it. And that's what it's looking like. At the end of the day, I know people would be saying it, but when this sort of noise comes about, and it was the same with the Willie Nantos situation, people were laughing at us, laughing at our club. We can't keep our players in order. Show some sort of level of professionalism. That's all I'm asking. 21 or not.
Stephen Bourne says here, has to be sold, can't afford to let him rot, but unfortunately football is all about money and we need to sell him. That's the reality of the modern game. It is, Dylan, isn't it? That is the reality of the modern game now, is that it is all about money. Wilf Grant says here, the difference with Harrison is that no one wants him. Yeah, exactly, no one does want him here, but like the point I'm making is that he could have played into that as well and said, no one wants me, I'm down in tills. There's a part of me that say I kind of respect him a little bit for going out there and going to Sweden and being part of the team where he essentially is not wanted. That's a tough thing to do. Jam says, I'd swim through shark-infested waters to put that white shirt on. Just don't like the way that he's going about it. That's it, Dylan. It's about rubbing the fans up the wrong way, isn't it, buddy? That's
100%,
the essential thing.
100%.
Danny says here, I didn't know this, and I'm not too sure if he is, if that's it, that he's Willie Nanto's old agent. So that probably tells the story of its own, Dylan, doesn't it?
It's not good. It's really not good. It's not a nice thing to be going through. At the end of the day, I do feel sorry for the lad. I know it's probably not coming for him, but money does get into people's heads and it changes people. And
of course, yeah.
I just think it's ruining football to a certain degree. At the end of the day, I know that we're sitting here, we're only fans. We're players, probably be a lot different, but at the end of the day, just play the game and keep your head down. That's the way it is. You will get your move.
Big up to Josh McCarthy, who has become a member of Only Leeds Bros. Thanks very much for that, Josh. Really do appreciate that, pal. Thanks very much, buddy. Stephen says, think what Joseph has done is taken a lot of anger away from Harrison, but definitely needs to go. Yeah, he still does need to go. I'm not sitting here saying keep Harrison, that he's the best, but I'm just saying there's right and wrong way to do things. I think these young guys are too influenced by the agents. Nanto was another example. Obviously, they have to go. They have to go with it, but bad advice is contributing to poor decisions. And yeah, we've seen that with Willie Nanto, didn't it? It took him a good while to get back into the team, didn't it, and win the fan base back.
Well, look, lads, he laughed at it at the end of the year. I think he proved him. Look, it wasn't as unbelievable here, but he did prove himself. A few goals, a few assists. He looked good at times.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and you can't fault him with that. But, he laughed it off at the end of the year, put the photo of him crying, basically, the fans slagging him, saying, you're a whinge bag, more or less. And he laughed it off, and you have to give him 10 out of 10. Sorry, that comment's at the crease.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Because I keep saying every time we see him, man, like playing or in any of the training videos, I'm just like, just cut your hair, man.
I just want to say something, actually. You did say to me in the Millwall Arms, what a place, get down there for a point as well in Leeds. Unbelievable, whatever. You did say every time you look at him, his hairline is receding. Like, I thought mine was bad. That's really bad. That's really bad.
It is. Yeah, 100% it is. Jam says, the flip side to the argument is, look at Nanto, he was badly advised, got his head down, worked. Can Joseph do the same? That's the question, buddy. That's the $1 million question. And whether Leeds and Farke have the time at the minute to do that for a championship club, you could potentially say, yeah, we can do that as a Premier League club. Yeah, exactly. We spoke about it. That is, we're not in that position anymore. That Leeds United need to do the right thing for Leeds United over these coming weeks. It's so important that we get this window right, whether it's incomings and outgoings as well. The balance of that team needs to be almost 100% spot on, and we need a little bit of luck in the Premier League to survive. So this sort of thing that's going on, it's just not needed, Dylan, isn't it? The Harrison situation as well, it needs to be all cleared and clarified before pre-season's over. Exactly, and in the dressing room as well. Of course it is. Yeah. John says, what's with this Calvin Phillips? I didn't hear anything about Calvin Phillips unless it's probably resurfaced.
I did see there was rumours that he will end up in Leeds. That was what I got. But just real quick on that comment, because obviously there's not much noise on it. I think to get Calvin Phillips back is like going back to the past. Unbelievable serving for Leeds, don't get me wrong. I think if the only way Phillips to come back here would be for like cup games, if I'm being honest with you. I can't see him getting into the team, and for just having around the dressing room, similar to the Sandboy room, I can't see him come back here. Look, down to the championship, I'd say.
Yeah, 100% I agree. And Jam agrees as well. You're obviously just throwing the other side of it as well. What other people could say as well. It looks great, Dylan. It looks great.
So lads, well, I'm just a laughing stock, isn't it, to everyone? Everyone just comes on here and just abuse me. I love it.
You're the entertainment. With a bit of news for you guys here. Most of you may know, and certainly Danny Talks Leeds. I was going to call you Danny Talks Sport because you were at Danny Talks Sport when we did start up Only Leeds Bros. Only Leeds Bros turns 1 the 21st of August next month. So to celebrate that, guys, we are going to be doing a giveaway for you guys, because the support that we've received over the last year, to be 3,300 subscribers in 12 months, as you can imagine, is absolutely crazy, lads. We never thought we'd be anywhere near that. So what we're doing, guys, it's giveaway time. Only Leeds Bros turns 1 next month, and we're celebrating by giving one of you a brand new Leeds United jersey of your choice. All you have to do to enter is go to our channel, subscribe, retweet the post on Twitter, and tag a mate below. So to get involved, all you have to do is scan that QR code or go to the link in the description below and follow the instruction there to be entered in the draw. The winner will be announced on our live stream on the 21st of August, obviously celebrating the year of Only Leeds Bros, where we'll have a good chat and hopefully there's a bit of news that day as well. So yeah, make sure you get involved in that, guys. It's just a little bit to give back to you. The lucky winner will be announced on there. We'll get your details then. We'll get the jersey for you and post it directly to your door as well. So it's just a way of saying thanks very much to you guys. Dillo, what do you think of that?
I love it. Can I have it? I'm going to home kit.
I bought them anyway.
I'm only messing with you. Yeah, I love it. No, that's what it's all about. Yeah, lads, as Darren said there, to hit last week, I think it was 174. I was just seeing 200 and something there in the building there a few minutes ago. Absolutely surreal. Just two Irish lads who just love Leeds United, passion. And to be nearly doing this a year and how much we've came along, it's grateful. I really do appreciate it. At the end of the day, it's a hobby for me and Darren. We don't do this for money. We don't do this for nothing. It's simply down to just loving Leeds, because the women are sick and tired of listening to us talk about Leeds. So we said, why don't we do this and talk to other people about Leeds? So yeah, as Darren said there, thanks very much to everyone. Can't believe it's nearly a year. All the legends that I've met along the way, Steve and Jam, Danny, Sean, I can't just so many names, lads. I could sit here all day. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Only Leeds Bros, do you support any Irish football teams?
Up the balls.
Bohemians, most you'll probably see now with the new Oasis jersey that's going around with bows on it. That would be our local team that we support. So yeah, that's where we go. Don't go to as much games as I'd like to anymore, because obviously doing this and 2 young kids. Dylan has a young kid as well. We don't go as often as what we used to, but definitely keep an eye on
up the balls
scores. But that is it from tonight's live video, guys. Really, really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. If you have, please don't forget to slap a like on the video, and of course hit subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, that would be absolutely fantastic. We'll be back again on Monday night for another live stream. Hopefully there's a bit of news over the weekend. If there is, we'll be sure to jump on and get a chat with you guys and give you all the details on it. But again, guys, thanks very much for all the support that we received. We do really, really appreciate it. So mind yourselves, mind each other, and we chat you all again soon.